February 1st, we are launching a campaign called Make It Zero. And this card just talks about the fact this is our moment. We have to make it zero. If there are 100,000 children that will be exploited in the United States who were born in America and another 300,000 that are at risk, that's not right. One child being exploited is wrong. We need to make it zero. And so what we have are shirts that you can purchase online. We want you to wear a shirt. We want you to get on your social media, take a video or a picture of you making a red zero and saying, 100,000 children are exploited every year in the United States. I'm going to do what I can do to make it zero. So you actually physically make a zero, if it's with your fingers or whatever. We want to do something and speak that out, because until we make people very aware and we drill down that this is really happening and we take the responsibility to tell that story, it can't move forward. And then our big push is February 14th. We want everybody to consider giving $14 to help us make it zero. So this is a movement across the United States. We want to invite all of you to participate. And so you can find out more by looking at our website, wellspringliving.org, and the Make It Zero campaign.
As you're saying this, I'm thinking this. I'm wearing this shirt and I'm making a zero. My media director is going to be wearing this shirt. He'll make it a zero. I know so many at Sarah.
Yeah.
Pastor Joe, I know so many people that are going to wear these shirts and make it a zero. And we can. And you know, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think positive of, okay, we can do this.
Yes.
I know we can. I feel it in my bones. We can make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Florida to Georgia to Kentucky to Vegas to everywhere.
Absolutely.
And it's all about coming together, and we can definitely do this. We can come together as one, and we can put it into this, and these traffickers can go get a job.
Yes.
Because our children are our future, and without them being prepared, this is just so exciting for me. And then in another breath, my heart is breaking because I know that there are girls right now stuck in a closet somewhere. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty to be a part of, but I want you to think about it. Look at your child or your grandchild or your niece or your nephew and think, what if this was my kid before it's too late? Because then once it is your kid and we didn't do anything, I'm going to do everything I can do. I know you do everything you can do. And it's just a really touchy subject. Before I got here, I was even kind of like,
shall I do this or shall I not?
You know, shall I or shall I not? Because it's touchy, but at the same time, it's like I'm protected by God.
Yeah, absolutely.
God's bigger than the government. God's bigger than a trafficker. God's bigger than anybody. So,
and Proverbs talks about this. I mean, Solomon made this great statement. He said, once you know the truth, God is not going to, quote unquote, in the message, let you off the hook. You must do something. And so that's where I get excited, because truly what happened to me is once I was really aware, my passion was stirred, and then God pushed it forward. It's nothing that I've done that we're even working in this space. It's totally God's heart to see children be able to become who they need to be. And I just think about so many young girls. We had a young girl come in and she was 14. The average age of the girl that walks through our doors is 14 or 15. Can you believe that? And that means they've been exploited for at least a year or maybe more. And I just think about this girl. Her mom was a single mom, but a professional. And she knew something had happened at the age of 12, wasn't quite sure because they're not going to talk about what happened. Right. And so she got some counseling, didn't help. Things just went from bad to worse. Well, she walked in our doors and she really did not want to be there, because that happens. Girls are not wanting to be there. They don't want to admit this has happened to them. There's a lot of shame around it. And so I don't want to be here. But our goal in providing a place for them is not to, they want them to feel shame, but we actually want them to feel worth. And so our homes are just beautifully decorated. Every girl has their own bedroom, their own bathroom, and we love them. Doesn't matter what they're saying to us. So she would sit down in therapy, not wanting to have therapy with Miss Dion, but Miss Dion was just like, well, let's just talk. So she just began to talk, and we believe in a strength-based approach, which means that doesn't matter how you're acting toward me, Samantha, I'm going to find something good about you, and I'm going to talk about that. And if I need to correct it, I'm going to use that to help you understand how you can be stronger. And so through that process and through a type of therapy that we use, which is all about really through movement and through making things memorable, that we help that brain to heal, because God can heal us. And so she began to believe, hey, there's something good in me. And so in the process of therapy and then through this individualized approach of education, she realized she was quite good at school. Quite frankly, she was great at math. So here she is at 15, and she fell in love with school. School hadn't worked for her before. She was behind, but she started doing great. And so we literally had to hide her books at night because she would be working so hard to gain credits. In fact, she worked so hard that she lacked one semester when she left us when she was 15 and a half. Went to high school, regular high school, graduated from high school at the age of 16 with her high school diploma, and was in college that summer. I mean, you're talking about a girl that didn't think she could do well in school, didn't think she had a future, and now you know what her degree is in? What is it? Accounting. Like smart, resilient girls who, given the chance to be in a safe environment and given what they need to become who they're created to be, is that God knows everybody's personality and everyone has something to do. That's what our focus is that everybody can do something. Well, if you're an artist, you can do something. If you're a business owner, you can do something. If you're a communicator, you can do something. Everybody has something they can give, and that's what we want to challenge you to do today. Just find who it is that you've been created to be, channel that passion so that girls can have hope and life, and that our children's future will be different from the children who we've seen be so harmed by trafficking.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. I knew I was coming to get God knowledge, but I was not prepared for this. But however, I am absolutely honored to be here.
Wow.
Tell them a little bit about your book real quick before we wrap up.
Absolutely.
And where they can find it. And you guys, I'm encouraging you, we can become one. I always say, together we are one, alone we are just that. And these girls are out there and they go through this tragic event. And I can tell you from experience, when you're in that moment, you don't know that there's other people out there that have either A, been through what you've been through and can help you through it, or B, love you enough to love you through it, so you stay stuck in that mental state.
That's right.
And we can love them through it, guys.
Yeah.
And we can help another life. And that's what we were put here to do. So let's talk about this book real quick.
Yeah, and so that really leads right into the book. Because the White Umbrella is all about the fact that there are girls who are in this situation, and it's like a storm, the worst storm you've ever thought about. And they don't even have the strength to put an umbrella over their head. So we, the people of faith, the people of compassion, need to open our white umbrella. And white is symbolic of innocence. I want you to figure out what it is you can do, open that white umbrella of love and care, and go to that girl and put it over her head so that you can walk with her through the mud puddles and the messiness of it so that her life can be different. And that's really true of not just trafficking survivors, that's true of anybody in pain. When you're in that moment of pain, you don't know what to do. You need someone that will open their white umbrella and walk with you. So this book is all about that. It tells a story of one girl, and so you can understand that she's just a little girl. She's just a little girl. It talks about the way that she was able to overcome a problem in her life while she was with us. Then it takes in the picture of this is really what happens to the brain when someone goes through this kind of trauma. And then we talk about how does somebody heal from it. It's called the stages of change. And then from that point forward, it's stories of one person after another person after another person who open their white umbrella over a survivor. And the miraculous things that happen, not only in the survivor's life, but also in the person who held that umbrella. Because see, God's all about transformation. But He's so great. He does mutual transformation. And I can tell you from my experience, I thought I was going to be helping the girls so much. But what's happened is God's changed my life. There's a quote at the end of a movie called Seabiscuit. And he's talking about the horse. And he said, we thought we were all going to save this horse's life. But in reality, she saved ours. And that's what God is wanting to do. He's wanting to save us from our closed-mindedness, from our self-righteousness, from our lack of compassion. He's wanting to save us from that by engaging us with some of the most painful, hurtful little children or women you've ever known. And in doing that, He's going to heal us and make us all brand new. I really believe that connecting with those who are most hurt can cause us to have a spirit of renewal and revival that our country most needs. So we want to encourage you, read the book and be encouraged and get involved, White Umbrella, or Make It Zero, because this is a way that you can tangibly do something. So many times people are like, this is too scary, I'm paralyzed with the facts, I just can't talk about it, I can't be involved. And we're saying, yes, you can. And we need you. The girls need you. Our country needs you. The world needs you to choose to be involved in this situation so that life can be different for many, including your own.
And for the people that have been following me on the Never Say Never, they knew me before and all the things that have happened.
Yeah.
God put me here.
Yeah.
God put me here because I have my selfish moments. But what she just said is absolutely true, because you become absolutely selfless, and then when I go to say, I can't say that because I am the poster child of Never Say Never. Yeah. So it is true. God transforms you. Not only are you helping someone else, but you're transforming yourself as well, and that's amazing. And one last thing I've been wanting to ask you, but I keep going over all this other amazing knowledge. The men that are the traffickers, are they from, what do we look for? Are they from the United States, or are they from foreign countries, or do they vary?
I don't think that just like there's no one category that I could say about a girl, there's no one category about traffickers. Some of them are actually businessmen. We know of doctors and lawyers who have been a part of this because it's a business. They make money. It's all about selfishness and money making. But I also know that many traffickers were raised to be that way. Maybe they live in a situation of low income, and in that culture, a pimp is a glorified person because actually they've got the bling and they've got this going on. And so sometimes the little boys are actually quote unquote trained to do this. And so I think that if we're going to stop this issue, we cannot just be on the back end and trying to rescue our girls. We need to change the conversation about how men and boys understand the worth of other people, and not just girls. We know that boys are being trafficked as well. And so I think that we need to be aware of our environment. We need to be aware of the people around us and reach out to people who are hurting, because sometimes in the middle of hurt, you do some really desperate and stupid things, and you get caught in it, and then it's just this vicious circle. You can't get out of.
Revolving door, and it's, you don't understand, you're scared, and you're alone.
Yeah. And if there were men who were wanting people, for women or girls, for sex, we wouldn't have this problem at all. So even in our churches, we know that there are men that are participants in this, and that needs to become a conversation that godly men stand up and say, I will not be involved, and I challenge you not to be involved, because children are precious, lives are precious, boys are precious, and we will not satisfy our own pleasure at the pain and risk
of a child. And the reason why they would go after a 15-year-old little girl is beyond me. I mean, it's just...
It's a blindness.
Yeah. All right, guys. Here you've had it. We came to Georgia, and we've got the knowledge that we need, and now we're going to bring it back to Tampa. Never say never. It was an absolute honor to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And I will definitely stay in touch. We'll definitely be a part of each other's movements.
Sure.
Make a difference, and Is there anything else that you would like to say?
I feel just as honored to meet you. Anytime I
Thank
find
you.
someone that's passionate about this issue and doing something with it, I'm very
Yeah.
encouraged. So thank you on behalf of the girls and the women who will be hopefully changed because of the awareness that you're bringing to this.
Yeah, and actually Sarah, Pastor Joe's wife, she's actually she is a counselor
Good.
of for the survivors when the survivors are found. So we want to say thank you to you.
Yes.
Because you helped place this passion. God put everything together the way He was, or wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And Sarah, get ready because we're coming back to Tampa and we're gonna make a difference and we're gonna help these girls, not only the survivors, the victims, but the potential victims.
That's right.
Oh, can you do one last thing for me and look at that camera and
Oh.
tell them never say never?
Never say never.